get our drinks.
I wonder why that's crooked. Is the magnet on there a little bit crooked, maybe?
We're live, so yeah, but we're live, so yeah,
So sassy.
but we're live, so yeah,
Turn the notifications off.
but it is okay.
What that noise is?
Okay.
I don't know what that was.
Okay.
I don't hear it now.
Still hear it. Are you getting messages?
I don't hear it now. No. This is delayed, so just a
Hi.
minute.
We're trying something new.
We're messing with stuff. What's up, Romesh?
Hi. We're trying something new.
We're messing with stuff.
Happy Monday.
Romesh. I gotta turn
Yeah,
it
you gotta turn yours down.
all jacked
We're gonna
Alright.
be hearing a lot of.
Okay, so there's that.
Man, I just feel a lot of stress right now. Yeah, a little extra stressed. We're gonna just
Well, you
get
know how to
start-
fix
Yeah,
that.
we're just gonna go ahead and start off with some Altos tequila. Get that going. We had a busy week last week, but we've had busier weeks. Cheers.
Love you.
I love you.
So what did we do? What has happened since
All right.
last Monday?
Tuesday, we had a Highland Sports Car Club autocross.
Yep.
Night Series autocross. It was number 6, I believe. It was April's 4th, I believe, also. 3rd or 4th?
Third, I think.
3rd.
Third autocross.
So April's 3rd autocross, she set her personal best again. I'm so proud of her. She ran the whole time in normal mode. She got her time down to a 42.2. And that was with me being like crazy upset because I didn't pump up my tires. So my tire pressures were low and I went out for my first run and it was crap. And I was mad. And we spent the next run trying to get them all pumped up. So April had to deal with me being all upset. And then during my next couple runs, my advanced traction control kept messing up. When I drive, I put the car in track mode, and I turn traction control off. After the first hardest right-hand turn, traction control was coming back on and yelling at me. So for the rest of the course, the car wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, which was really, really frustrating. So I was very upset, and April just kept getting faster. So, I mean, good for her to just leave my craziness and my bad attitude back at the starting line, because when she took off, she just did so good. The funny thing is on her 5th run, we got 6 runs. On her 5th run, advanced track messed up on her and actually turned traction control off. Kind of scared her.
Yeah, it was on.
Yeah, it was on, and then it turned it off, which kind of scared her, but I was like, just keep going, you've got this. And she did, and she still rocked out a really good time. For both of our last runs, we popped the hood and disconnected traction control. So it was, it fixed it. It was a new adventure for her because the dash looked like a Christmas tree with all the squiggly lines and stuff, but the car finally did what I wanted it to do. I ran my fastest time, but I was still many tenths off of my season's fastest time. So that was disappointing for me, but I've learned that I need to show up with my tires pumped up, and I have to disable traction control from under the hood before we even start. And again, like I say it over and over, I'm just so proud of April. She drove the car fantastically. She's doing really, really well. So it was great. I had the worst.
Yeah, well, your tires were under pressure. They didn't get hot like we thought they were going to. There was a bunch.
It was a pain in the butt. But that was quickly resolved the next day because we got our newest issue of Grassroots Motorsports magazine, the Hardcore Sports Car magazine, and there was an article about Pine Mountain, which is the hill climb, back in May. And I tell you, I was so excited to see this. I don't know if you can tell, but this is my car right here, right there in a magazine. That was awesome, and the story's awesome. It really talks about the economic impact and what bringing a hill climb to Appalachia means. And it was such a wonderful event to be a part of. I reminisce about it quite often, not just because I brought home a first place trophy, but it was a great, great event. I had such a blast, and there's some really good content in that article alone. Shout out to Sherwin Paquette and his gray Evo, who was also featured in there. A couple other stories in the magazine was the One Lap recap, and One Lap is such an iconic event. It's like 10 days, crazy racing, and they featured Bill Bostic and the Michelin M2, which I thought was really, really cool to know somebody else that had their car featured in the magazine. And at the end of the magazine, they talk about performance tire testing done by Andy Hollis, which is a one-lapper, but also a great driver. So they didn't just test like 3 tires. They tested every performance tire they could get their hands on. It's really informative. I hope you get a chance to read this magazine. It was awesome. So I thought that was pretty cool. On Wednesday, hi, he's pointing to, so we have our comments right here so we can read them.
Yeah.
We have the camera that's videoing us turned, so we can't see ourselves.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
The camera.
We're talking to the phone now.
Yeah, it's hard.
So
I don't know what I look like.
Yeah.
But at least you guys can read our shirts. I don't actually have anything that says anything on mine.
I have a pretty cool shirt on.
But we're still representing Charisma Detailing, based out of Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville, Simpsonville, Spartanburg, that whole area. If you need a hookup, let us know. We'll get you in touch with them. I got my upgraded racing license from SCCA, which is really, really cool. I had a intermediate time trials license and a novice hill climb license, and they just upgraded me to a regular hill climb license and an advanced time trial license, which the time trials license will put me into the advanced group, not necessarily the faster cars. It just means that there's passing on track and no point by necessary. You just look for an opening and take it if you need it. But again, it's time trials, so if you're having to pass somebody, that's probably not going to be your or their fastest lap anyway. So it's exciting. It feels great to move up. But overall, I hope to not do a whole lot of passing during time trials. And having just the regular hill climb license is kind of just an ego thing. You can run just about any SCCA hill climb with the novice hill climb license, but just to be official feels pretty cool. So I was really, really happy about that. I think our most exciting day this week was on Friday. It was kind of a rainy day here in the Western North Carolina, but we did decide to do some car test drives. We're still looking for a car for our little women in driving thing. So what did? We went to Hunter Nissan.
Yeah. So we talked earlier, April, for some so the world is all about JDM in I say the world, North Americans. Like JDM, you got that big crowd, and you got the big Euro crowd. You don't really have a big Italian sports car crowd because nobody can afford that stuff. And then you have the American car crowd of people. And the American domestic crowd is kind of...
Oh,
What?
it looked like it got interrupted. Sorry.
Is it glitching?
I don't know. Maybe I should have turned off Wi-Fi.
But
Sorry.
it's got not as much love from the Fast and the Furious franchises and all the stuff that's come out. Everybody really likes Japanese vehicles, which is fine. I have Toyota pickup trucks. I understand it. But our daughter, even after having the Mustang, had the bug. So when we were talking about getting a car, we're talking about getting a car for her that could potentially do double duty as this training vehicle. And that is because a whole nother vehicle is a whole nother set of fees we have to spend on tax tag title, insurance. It's going to take up space in our driveway, and then even if it goes nuts and we do every autocross we can get to, that car is probably only going to get used maybe 30, 40 times of the year. It's going to sit. We're not dailying it. And then that brings on dry rotting, engine sitting in one spot, mice getting in, chewing on the wires or whatever. So what if we get one vehicle that can do double duty? So what would that be? And April brought up a Nissan 350Z because that is a car that is about the same price range of her Mustang GT she has now, because we're going to sell it if we go through with this. So where do you just go test drive somebody's Z car? I don't know anybody who's got one that's close by. So we went, I said, well, let's go test drive a 370Z, and if you love it, at least we'll know we're in the right realm of things. And if you don't like the new one, you're probably not going to like the older one. So that was the plan. There's not many.
They were really hard to find.
Yeah.
First and foremost, brand new 370Z from the dealer, you can't even order it. They're like sold out.
Yeah,
so they're done.
Everybody
got theirs or wanted theirs or whatnot. We found one in Asheville. It was an automatic.
Yep.
Really nice looking. It was a 2017, so it looked really cool. And when we got to check it out in person, I was really impressed with the interior. I was like, man,
it's sharp.
That does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the whole time I was like, please don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not a big JDM person. That's just me. But I want April to have what she wants. So she's under 18, so she couldn't take the car for a test drive. So Kyle had to test drive it, but she did get to ride shotgun. They did get to go by themselves. It's pouring rain. When they left, I freaked out because
it was raining hard.
It was serious rain, and I was like, oh my god. At the tires, and they were from like 2017, so they were still
older.
They were still the like Yokohama Advans, and I was nervous, but everything went smooth.
Yeah.
So tell me your thoughts, and then how did you get April's thoughts?
So we're on Brevard Road. There's a little state forest close by there, Bank Creek Experimental Forest, and it's a nice little twisty road that's right by the area because you don't want to go on the highway. You're not going to be able to judge anything.
Right.
So we left. Seats felt good, riding position's good, steering wheel's nice. The steering wheel's kind of oval shape. It's not round. But it was nice. They're trying to get to a Formula One style steering wheel in there.
Cool. I thought
Felt good. We pulled out, just me and her now. So the test drive, the salesman didn't come with us. So we rode over. We got on Junaluska. I already knew. Now we didn't really want her to want this car, but we didn't. With our kids, we never force our opinions on them because that's just our opinions. I have no idea what she's going to want. So I didn't say anything. But my internal thoughts were, this car feels like a toy. The road noise is atrocious, which could have been from the tires, but it was so freaking loud in there. You can't roll the windows down when it's even drizzling because water just dumps in the interior, which probably means you're going to have horrible wind noise when the windows are down at speed when it's nice out, but I don't know. Nothing happens, and I know, okay, so we complain about power issues. You have one side of the world.
Rebecca said, feels like a toy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you have one side of the automotive world that's like, be careful. These Mustangs are twitchy and this and that and this, and they come from like a BMW background or a Miata or something, when honestly those vehicles, when you stomp on the gas, you have seconds to react to the power output because there's not much at the beginning. It's a very low torque vehicle, so it's not going to eat you alive. Even like an E92 M3, the torque band's way high. It's not going to bite you. And then an inline six car or a four-cylinder vehicle, you're just not going to pay the price for putting your foot on the gas. So we don't do that in this house. My Tacoma even has quite a bit of pickup.
It's a little pepper.
So it's got some
spice.
It's got some pepper.
There's some spiciness.
So
Raj likes your shirt.
Oh, he needs a hookup, huh?
He knows where to get it. He got his truck done by Charisma Detailing.
So
yeah, it's not a V8.
Yeah,
Rebecca. You're exactly right. And some V8s
I won't
even
say that April drove the vehicle because she's 17 and she's not supposed to, but there's really only one way to know if she's going to like the vehicle, and after she formulated her opinion, she hated it as well. And I won't say, hey, it's a good car. It's not as engaging as even her 06 Mustang is audibly. The exhaust is good, but it's at like 6,000 RPM when it starts happening, and you're really moving at that point with that vehicle. So the torque band is low, so a lot of people don't understand that, but you get on the gas and it's like a slow push into a swimming pool as opposed to somebody just slamming you in there. So that's the difference with torque, right? So if you don't have torque low,
very true.
It's a very slow build, which is safe for a new driver, okay? It's safe for a new driver. But April's been driving her car and autocrossing Mommy's car, and she's got us here to help her with that. So I don't really put her into a brand new. She's sim racing right now.
She is.
So she wants the butt feel, and that car didn't have it. So
what happened? Tell me what happened when you went around that tight curve.
So I'm not a race car driver at all. I never claimed to be. But when I'm in the sports car from Nissan, off power, coasting down a hill, maybe 15-degree slope, on camber, like it's not an off camber corner, and I'm just drifting around the corner, feeling like I'm flowing with traffic, not doing anything ludicrous, and the ass end pops out from behind me like 6 inches before I got on the gas and corrected that. I'm out.
So it oversteered real bad.
It was bad. It was almost a snap oversteer moment, and we're not talking a whole bunch of water, and I'm not knocking the guys to have them, but it needed a lot more tire to coast. So I'm thinking right now what we would have to do to this car, it was like, what, $23,000?
It was pretty expensive.
And then what are we going to have to do to make it even safe?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to wreck a rental car or wreck a test drive
car.
Right? Because it's on my insurance. That's how they do that now. If y'all don't know, when you test drive a car, it goes on your insurance policy.
That's
So
what they say.
yeah,
We've
so
not wrecked and
yeah, I've
found
never
out,
been there.
but that's
I've
what
been
they
in the
told
passenger
us.
seat when someone wrecked a test drive, but I've never been driving, and it wasn't her.
It was not me.
No, it was a long time ago. But
So I wonder, with everybody loving JDM and drifting,
it would be a good drift
I wonder
car.
if that's why they're super great, because there's not a ton of low end torque. You're going to be riding the rev limiter, so that's where your power is, and they over rotate really well. So maybe we're just missing it.
Yeah, I
maybe
don't
we're
know.
missing the mark on what actually a Z car is for. And if that's true, that's great, but we're not drifters, and we're not trying
It's
to
not
create
for
a
autocross.
drifter. So it just wasn't the car, and honestly, I was super, super happy that April didn't like it.
She couldn't wait to tell you.
I know. So the
we
biggest
were like,
thing,
get out of the dealership first.
the biggest thing is because we also were going to go test drive another car, and the other car we went to test drive was a 2015 Mustang V6. So the V6, which is another 3.7 liter V6 engine. However, it's not a high revving V6. They both had about the same.
It was almost the same specs
Yeah.
as far as peak.
As far
power.
as like numbers that they give you in the
Three
magazine.
honey-ish,
Yeah.
for horsepower, maybe
320s.
250 torque,
It
270
was
torque.
270
I don't
and
remember.
285 for the. It was 270 for the 370 and 285 for the V6. The thing about getting a V6 Mustang is I have a full suspension that will go on one. I have a handling suspension. I have extra tires. If we were looking at kind of newer vehicles, the newer V6
Yeah.
Mustang would be the one to
Yeah.
go with. But again, we really wanted April to make sure that that's what she liked.
Yeah, we're not salesmen here.
And we were lucky enough to find a V6 Mustang. It was in an automatic, but we went out to eGolf Motors in Brevard, and they were super, super awesome and helpful. We got out there. It wasn't like 5 minutes later, Kyle and April were in the car taking it out. Come to find out, the V6 Mustang has paddle shifters. I thought that was neat. I didn't even know that if it's an automatic,
Yeah.
it has paddle shifting
Yeah, I didn't know that until we were halfway down the road.
I didn't either. We still want a manual vehicle in the end whenever we figure this out, but that was kind of neat.
Do you want to stop and look at some of these?
I sure can.
So Ted, good idea. We should do that. So we will figure that out with whoever, because they can just join right in. I'm pretty sure they have to ask to join, but they can tether right into our little
It'll
screen
be
here.
fun. I think a guest would
And
be awesome.
Jennifer, you're awesome. Congrats on your new HPDE logbook that you made.
We were going to get to that, but since we brought it up, congratulations, girl!
It's awesome.
I'm so excited for
People
you!
are already buying it. I think it's a great idea.
Second book for a published author,
Yeah.
and she's my friend. I know her.
Um,
So that's very, very
and
cool.
I would love to take April down to check your cars out. She thinks you're awesome, just so you know.
Of course.
But we need to figure that out. You know, you got the GT500 now. I know you're a little autocross curious again because you got a car that can handle a little bit better. So yeah, we definitely need to figure that out in the near future.
We do.
We owe everybody a Greenville trip. Once this white car is back on the ground after the hill climb, we will.
Hill climbs in
We'll
2
do it.
weekends.
Yeah,
Not
we're-
this weekend, but the next.
Yeah.
So back to the
back to the
V6
test
Mustang,
drive.
which
Yep.
we literally, me and April make fun of all the time. But I'll tell you, when I did the Michelin Women in Drive program, it was the tire school. We did like a little autocross circuit with some V6 automatic Mustangs, and I remember going, that car is pretty good because it's really light in the front end. And the only thing I wanted out of the car was a manual, so I could tell it what gear I wanted to be in. And so, tell me about your test drive.
So it's a couple of 100 pounds lighter on the nose
Than
because of
the GT
than the
Mustang.
GT, right? She had the GT when she went to the Women in Drive event as well, so she had a good
Yeah, I already
comparison.
knew.
So when we got there, it was funny because when we got there, this young fella
Very
in his
young.
20s comes out, just so in
We
your
were not there,
No.
Rebecca.
he didn't give two shits about Ryan and
Me
April
and
being
April.
there. Walked right by him, comes to me, introduces himself. I tell him there's not many cars on the lot, right? That's the first thing I noticed is there's only maybe 20 or 30 cars there. Most of them are used. Now, it's because of this chip shortage that everybody's dealing with right now from all the COVID stuff, the testing, and the battery issues and all that. So they're having a really hard time finishing cars. But that's enough of that. You can Google it up.
Yeah.
So I tell them that I want to test drive this white. It's white, V6, base automatic. It doesn't have Sync 3, which is like the nice nav touchscreen or anything. If anybody's ridden in a Ford in the last decade almost, that's like the premium package level stuff. So it's just a regular V6. So I'm assuming that he's going to let me take it with April without anyone, because we just had that situation at the other dealership. But they want to come with. So the dude's probably 6 foot something. He's pretty tall.
He was definitely over 6
pretty tall
foot.
fella. So he goes in, gets a key, comes back out, scans my license and all the stuff they got to do. We hop in the car. Well, we don't hop in the car. He's like, well, okay, let's go. And I was like, dude, this car's for my daughter. She's got to come with us. And he's like, where am I going to sit? I don't care.
It's got back seats, bro.
You can stay here. You can get in the trunk. It doesn't matter to me. But he's like, I got to come with you. And I was, well, sit in the back, I guess. So he's straddling over the back seats. April's in the passenger, and I'm driving. We pull out, get out on the road, and immediately romp the gas. It's an auto now. So we didn't want our opinions to be based on the horrible shifting technology of automatic transmissions that I'm used to, right?
We're used to.
So
most of us are used to.
So romp on the gas of the Nissan, delay, maybe 2 downshifts, then we're off to the races. That's what I'm talking about as far as power delivery. Not the delay, but when I'm in the gear it wants to be in, and we go. So Mustang, hit the gas. I'm assuming it's going to be the same because the power numbers are about the same. But that thing is peppy as hell. I couldn't believe
Just took off, huh?
how quick it went going. And I'm in just auto.
Mustang!
So hit the gas. At any moment I push the gas, it downshifts almost as I'm pushing the gas down, and here we go. Right? And the guy's like, put it in sport mode. You got paddle shifters. So I'm like, oh man, that's like Forza. Let's do that. So I put it in sport mode, and now I have total control. It sounds awesome. It's nice and quiet when I'm not revving it out.
So no road noise.
No road noise. Sophisticated, super nice. The cloth seats are really good, really bolstery. I prefer cloth seats, so that's good for me, but it's not that I'm going to be driving it. It's got a backup camera. It's got parking sensors. It's got cross-traffic sensors.
Yeah.
It's got blind spot management. This car is like $2,500 less than this Nissan, okay? About the same mileage. Steering feels good. I have steering modes that I can change the car. It's not a premium, so I don't have performance changes like sport to track
wet
and
snow
wet snow.
mode in the
But
GT.
I don't even know if they offer that in the V6.
I don't know either. I haven't seen it.
It's got the track apps in it, so you can do your 0 to 60 time and your G's and all that stuff.
And
so
wheel pressure sensors.
yeah, it's got
Every
tire
wheel
pressure
has
monitoring system. Now that Nissan
displays
has
on the dash.
that Nissan has no
Nothing.
heads-up display of any kind. It's all dials. It might as well be
Analog.
a 20-year-old vehicle. Yeah, it's all analog.
Very analog car.
So,
no screen.
Now
at
the
all.
Nismo or something might have it, but
Maybe.
this Nissan did not.
And we were looking at base vehicles.
Super peppy. So I'm already, April's giggling, so I know she's liking it. So I go, okay, dude, let me give you a little lesson about sales. I said, and I'm not a salesman, but these girls are here because Mama's a race car driver and my daughter wants a race car. So you just blazed right past those two ladies and talked to me. I said, I just drove from here. Now, I'm just a chauffeur today. And you're talking to me like I'm the dude. And he was like, he didn't believe me. So I give April my phone. He pulls up. She pulls up Ryan's website. He's like, no, man, I can't believe. oh, seriously? Oh, dude, the whole time.
Just
YouTube channel,
switch.
watch some videos. He's flipping out, wants to know where the autocross is and everything. So, tell him about the autocross. He's got a brand new 2020 Charger Daytona.
Daytona, yes.
He's only had it for like 2 months, already got a ticket, wants somewhere that he can romp the car and not get in trouble. So I'm talking to him about the autocross and why we're getting this car and all this, right? So this kid's hooked in. Now it went from I'm going to sell this dude a car to how can I help these girls? That's how it felt in the vehicle. And this is a 20-year-old kid, right? He's just mind blown that all this is happening. So my mind was made up. April's tripping out because this day did not go how she planned. And I said, honey, don't do this because this is what me and your mom want. I want you to be happy with this, right? So, but she's like, this is awesome. I already know the corners of this car from driving Mommy's. She liked how it looked. She really liked the interior. She liked the fact that it had back seats so she can put some stuff, even if it's a rear seat delete. You got
that
a
was
big
something
spot.
I was really surprised with. Cargo space in the 370Z is it's like a
kinda
Z car
meager.
that I'm used to. Like, you know, the BMW Z cars. There's just not a lot of room at all. So, you know, it is a bigger car. I'm just so glad she loved it.
We know that a Mustang can take some cones because this blue one has done that shit. So it's very good
Maybe.
for the
Just
whole
a few.
situation. And then we have a lot of parts. I've already worked on the car. It sticks with the brand, so Ryan's
It does.
following. You know, she belongs to a lot of Mustang groups,
Sticks with our
and
little
they're great.
Mustang herd.
I don't know when this is going to happen,
When
but
it's
it
gonna
is. Because I would love. This is going to be the autocross trainer car too. So, I mean, it's going to be April's daily, but it's going to be an autocross trainer. So maybe we can use some funding, sponsorship funding, GoFundMe or something to help buy the consumables instead of buying the car, because consumables are going to cost just as much over a couple of years. So
and
we'll figure it out.
And we're going to find a manual. We're going to definitely
gotta
find a
stick.
6-speed manual.
They exist.
They do. We've found a few in our areas,
Yeah.
but we've got some pretty tight specifications. You know, we're going to want maintenance records. We'd really like the car to have under 50,000 miles, and then we have a price point as well. So that's a lot of boxes we've got to check off. So we're going to work on that. And then we're also going to work on getting April's car a little bit more situated, a little more visually appealing. Right now it has a red door. It says
we're
black
gonna
door,
paint the
but
door.
it's obviously red. So we're going to have to paint the door, add the side skirt back on it. So, I mean,
we got some stuff to do. The big thing right now is this is going to be... I don't think this autocross season
I don't think the autocross season, no.
going to be... I think we're going to probably start this in the winter.
But we have some things to keep this going in the interim.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we want to really start it very soon, but we have some other ideas to get women involved because, again, we're searching for a manual car. So there's actually a lot of grown women that don't know how to drive a manual.
There's a lot of grown men that don't know how to do it either.
Well, I just care about ladies.
I know, and that's going to be a thing because,
So-
you know, as far as men are concerned,
We're sexist.
they can do it themselves.
No, but we're just, again, it's a passion of mine to provide an opportunity to women that, in other words, wouldn't know they had that opportunity. And
I would love
that's
to get...
all. That there's opportunities for dudes to go try things. So
Yeah.
go look at that direction. It's okay. I just don't.
Bring your dad, and maybe he'll get involved and get a track car that
But-
they can share.
You know, so we have the one to teach teach ladies how to drive a manual. We have the option of, because we have a venue, my tire sponsor, Black Mountain Tire. We have a venue where we can teach ladies how to do basic stuff like check your fluids, check your tire pressures. What do tire pressures mean? How do you pump up a tire? Like, I would think advanced level would be changing a tire, because not everybody needs to know how to change a tire. You can just call AAA. You know, I would be nervous changing a tire on the side of the road. I know how to do it, but I have this guy. I just call him and make him do it. So there's some very basic maintenance levels that I would like women to feel more comfortable about, and just
checking your fluids.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
checking
big one
fluids
that nobody
and tire
does.
pressures are a big one, because if you run wrong tire pressures, you're gonna get early tire wear. You're gonna ruin your tires, and that just costs you money.
Yeah.
That's why that's important. There's also other racing adventures, and definitely we're talking about autocrossing, but there's something else we're going to mention in just a minute, because when we got done test driving the Mustang and the
so
370,
April's hooked.
April's hooked
right
on the
now,
V6
like,
Mustang. So that's
she can't
really
stop.
good.
She can't stop thinking about it. She looks as much as we do.
Yeah.
And one more caveat to that is, I really want one that's not been modified, because I don't want the seller. Honestly, so with the 06, it was heavily modified, and
April's 06.
Not everyone is. Kudos for DIY.
Yeah, good job for giving it a go.
But I don't want
But
to
a lot of people
follow
kinda mess
somebody
that up.
else's
Yeah.
shoddy workmanship.
A little bit.
So, and I want the girls to be able to see that. Like, here's a stock vehicle, and here we go with whatever else. So, there was a few more things that got discussed at that dealership that we'll save for a later time.
We'll see.
But
there might be some
real good
cool
stuff.
things
I'll say
happening
that
there, but we don't know.
they didn't push the sale. They totally understood where we were coming from.
They did. They were like, a manual V6 is not really normal, because people buy the V6 because they want the look of a Mustang, but they just want a daily driver. So the manual wasn't in high demand. It's kind of a unicorn car. So I straight up told him that he was looking at 2 unicorns.
She did.
And that was me in April.
So this is an introverted woman.
I came out
she
my
really,
shell, y'all.
When I came back from that test drive, I don't know what those girls, I think they were like, we're going to fuck these guys up when we get back. Because when we got out of the car, totally different women. They're both like, this is this, and this is what I want. And so these guys, the sales manager, I think, came out, and Tyler came out. And they were, take my card, stay in touch. We really need, what you're trying to do is awesome, basically. So I don't know where it's going to go.
They were very supportive at that moment, and
it was good.
That just felt great there, because we hadn't felt that from any other dealership we've ever visited.
No,
so that was
not at
that
all.
was something
Not at all.
to
So
just kind of brag about for e-golf motors out in Brevard, North Carolina, with the white squirrels, y'all.
Yes, there's white squirrels there, and lots of nice
curvy
trout
roads.
Streams and curvy roads.
Trout streams, curvy roads.
You can fit a fly rod in a sports car.
If you have,
I've done it.
If you have a Tenkara rod.
Yes, but they were awesome. I don't know what's going to happen with that, so we don't want to tell you what might happen with that, because
we're just going to stop talking about that now.
We're just going to stop talking about it. It was exciting, and the girls barely fit through the doors on the Tundra on our way to our next venue.
Why? Because of our egos?
Yes.
Our egos were so big.
It's weird. It doesn't really happen in any other world but high horsepower. But high horsepower cars give these girls egos.
Yeah.
So
we like to be in control.
Yeah, it's what it is. So
after we left e-golf out in Brevard,
I'm out of the whiskey.
Okay. What you drinking tonight? Are you gonna bring the whole bottle and show everybody?
I will show you what I'm drinking, people.
Okay. I'm just basic. I'm still just Altos tequila and Corona Premier beer. I could take another beer though. Order up. So once we left e-golf motors out in Brevard, we headed to the track at Asheville, which is a fairly new facility. It's near Biltmore, North Carolina, which is just Asheville. I don't know. If you haven't heard of it, just do some Googling. But they have state-of-the-art simulators, racing simulators. It was amazing. And, a friend of mine, Cameron Albee, works there. He's also the Highland Sports Car Club president. So I had heard about it through him, but that was my first time visiting it. It's kind of like, it looked like the coolest garage, because as soon as I walked in, I was like, I wish this was my garage. It was very big. It just felt like a race mecca in the middle of Asheville, and I had never really felt that before. So I was very comfortable the moment I walked in, and they also sell beer, so I was like hooked. But we got there, and the owner Joel was there, and he was super nice and kind of talked us through some things. They have 12 racing simulators. 6 of them are, I'm really bad at this. I am not technically inclined. So the 12 on the right were like a higher end, I'm not getting this word right at all. So like I have a simulator for Forza, and it's like a really like cheap simulator. They have a section where it's like a higher end. What is our simulator?
It's a Logitech G92. It's the one
It's nice,
that is like
but
Microsoft, Xbox branded.
right.
And
So
at the time we bought it, we didn't know. Honestly, if we did, it wouldn't have mattered because the Fanatec.
yeah,
was
we
very,
hadn't
very
really heard of the.
But so we had. Here's your beer, Mama.
Thank you, honey.
So
But
we.
on half of it, they have. Okay, so he's drinking Larceny.
It's pretty good. This is a staple at the house.
That's one we go through a lot.
It's a little hot, but it's good for the money.
Yeah. So again, they have 12 racing simulators, and half of them are like really super upgraded Logitech, similar
They're
to that.
Thrustmasters.
Okay, they're front. See, I needed him to tell you
Okay,
guys about this.
so
Tell them about the
From the
simulators.
beginning.
We walked in. I got a beer.
No.
I was happy.
We walked in. I walk in. Hey, how you doing? Ryan walks in, and they go, "You're Ryan Cheek." Right? I don't know any of these people. Cameron's not there,
Because Cameron.
right?
knows
They're
us.
like, "Oh man, how can we help you today?" So it's totally different situation than we dealt with at this dealership we just got from, right?
That's true.
And I was like, what in the shit?
That was
I guess I brought a celebrity into this place. So we're talking, looking around. There is, like, if you think we'll do a live, next time we're there, we'll do a live stream of that place.
Oh, I'm getting a group of
Because
people, and we're going
it's
because it was
awesome.
freaking amazing.
It is awesome.
well,
There's swag everywhere.
It was so cool.
The space is
I can't
awesome.
wait to go back.
You can pull cars inside this space. Not that that's something you just do, but we will be able to incorporate that in if that's what we want to do.
Yep.
So
The track at
there's
Asheville.
beer, but no food.
Yeah.
But you're right in downtown. Like
Biltmore.
you can get
Yeah.
takeout from. You can
You
can
probably
walk.
get delivery or.
You can walk to some kick-ass restaurants
Yeah,
right there in
you
town.
can get
It's
food.
right by. So it's right by the Red Stag, and I can't remember what the restaurant is called. The Mexican restaurant. It's a good Mexican restaurant.
I don't know.
So the right side is like 8 or 9. I don't remember.
6.
6.
Mm-hmm.
Thrustmaster, which are cheap. These are cheaper to use. It's a Thrustmaster steering wheel, which is a little bit better than our Logitech. One screen simulators. They're all strewn up together. Now, all those people can race each other. It's all hooked up. There's TVs all around where they can put somebody's in cockpit
Yeah.
view up for everybody else
Or
to see.
just like you're spectating at a race and
Yeah.
you just watch it go.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
The other side is triple screen wraparound Spectre screens, and they're concave.
Super immersive.
Full setup. They're running R Factor, which is a pretty good computer game. Everybody thinks iRacing is the best, but iRacing is only it gets its kudos because they were the first on board when COVID hit.
Yeah.
Advertised. There's a lot of good sims out there.
I didn't really like iRacing when I tried it. Kyle actually built me a gaming computer so I could do iRacing. And I tried it for about a month and a half, and I just really couldn't get that feeling of speed. I got it better out of Forza, and I know that Forza isn't quite as technical and precise as iRacing may be, but I just preferred it. I mostly am just using it to learn the tracks as well. But
We already had all that.
right, but their system, their game, what was it called again?
R Factor.
R Factor. I can't. I'm so bad at
Yeah,
it. But
and
anyway,
that's been around since 2012 and constantly updated, just like iRacing. But you don't have to do the crazy, like iRacing, you're not allowed to do this unless you're this licensed. So if Ryan wants to get on and do VIR in a high horsepower rear wheel drive vehicle, she would have to play that game for
or
a
buy. You
while,
have to buy the
or
mods.
spend a ridiculous amount of money to get that stuff. So R Factor's not like that.
And it also really gave me a feeling of speed. I drove a C7R, which is a race Corvette at VIR, Virginia International Raceway, and it was amazing. I wrecked a lot, but it was awesome. I cannot wait to go again. As a matter of fact, they're doing 10-minute sessions tomorrow. If you are in the area and are interested in this, give them a call, sign up, or you can sign up on their website. You get 10 minutes free to set your fastest lap, and whoever sets the fastest lap gets a free month. So this is the track at Asheville. It's a racing simulator facility. It is amazing. I had so much fun. I can't wait to go back. April loved it.
Oh yeah, yeah. April was only what 4 seconds and change. She's a lot better than we had no idea.
She's
that
a lot
she was gonna
better
take
than
it.
me.
So
I'm really happy about it. But
yeah, well, it's one of those
part of me is
things,
like,
you know.
dang girl, you know, I'm a little.
It's gonna be a good racing team.
I'm gonna have to definitely push her a little bit more than I thought.
Kicking her out of Hank, that's happening for sure.
Well, I want her to have her own race car. It's nerve-wracking for me when she drives my car, but it's also like I'm trying to set my time.
Love you, Lisa.
So,
See you next time.
So, I don't know. We digressed on that, but the track at Asheville, you get 10 minutes free on a simulator. Set your fastest lap. It's going to be a course that no one has ever driven, so that kind of evens the playing field for everybody. And it's free. It's 10 minutes on a simulator for free, and you can figure out if you like it or
way
not.
worth it.
And it's
way
tomorrow, Tuesday, from 5 to 6 p.m. So I highly encourage you to sign up. I am really, really trying to sign up.
Yeah,
I
we're
also
gonna
have some parts coming into a Ford dealership about that time that I might have to go pick up, and that might keep me from going, but I really, really want to go. We shall see.
So, do we want to... How far in are we going
We're
with
here.
the track at Asheville?
I don't know. I wouldn't go any farther. They were
good things
really,
happen
really
there.
supportive of
Yes,
our women, getting women into like automotive thing that we've been talking
We had
about.
an absolutely incredible networking day for what Ryan
And they were
Ryan
a
Cheek
lot more
Racing
committed
is trying to
than
do. And
I ever expected.
they really poured their hearts out on the table when we were in there, and we really appreciate that.
So support them,
And,
please.
Yeah, so the track at Asheville. So before that existed, before we went there, we have been to satiate the... I think that's the word.
What's that word?
Satisfy.
Okay.
Satiate, I think.
Sa-
I may, if it's not a word, that's what it means.
We're gonna satiate.
We've been taking Ryan down to Greenville to kart, right?
Yeah.
It's 2.5 hours, 2 hours to get there. You got all this. So this place is literally 15 minutes from the house.
Yeah, it's very
And
close.
you get to try your own tracks out. You get to try a bunch of different cars. You get to race against people because all those computers are hooked up.
It was so
So
cool.
you can race against everybody.
Yep.
Stop and have a beer, have some pizza, whatever you're going to have takeout, and get back in there and do it. There's a headphone setup so you can talk smack to each other or whatever you're going to do. So it really is an awesome. I know you're like, well, it's just a video game, but
no,
it's absolutely awesome. The setup
it felt
they have
way
there.
more real. I was having like real on track sweats.
Yeah,
April said
it's
it
good.
too. She's like, I sweat so much. I was like, it felt real, didn't it? And when you wrecked, I was like, like I thought I was wrecking.
It's so because the screens are wrapped
it was
around
very
you.
immersive. I felt like I was
It's
doing
good.
it. It was an adrenaline release. It was satisfying my need to like turn the wheel and hunt apexes. And
the
the
feedback
wheel
is intense.
The wheel was so hard to turn. My forearms got sore, just like in karting. And they have those turned down to 45% feedback, so they can even turn them up more.
Yeah.
So if you were like, I need to work out, you can go do that. I mean, it was so cool. You have no, I want you to go experience that.
I was gonna say something else about that.
It was much easier to go do and a little bit less expensive than actual karting, and I still got all the feels and endorphins like I had went real karting.
And our buddy Cameron, who did excellent at VIR, did all of his training there. He had never actually been to the track, and he said that it is about 85% of what the actual track day is. He said the two things that are missing are the fear, which is healthy to have on track because you're actually piloting your body through all these corners, and the G-forces. But he said other than that, he felt like he had been to VIR already. So if you can't get to the track at Asheville to drive and you want to go on track, I mean, those sims are like $8,000 each.
They're expensive.
Nice. But a simulator of some sort, if you already have an Xbox or a PlayStation or something, or a computer that'll run it, is a good investment because after you buy it, it costs you nothing else. There's no tires to buy, no brakes to buy, no lodging, hotels. You can do it in your PJs at the house. There's a lot to be said about it, and I really feel that when you're doing Forza at the house here, it makes you sharper.
I do get better, and I haven't been, and I can notice that actually. So that was something I took note of just being there that day. I was like, man, I'm actually really out of practice, and I need to be on a sim a lot more. Professional racers do it for a reason. I mean, it's not just for fun. It is to build your skills, learn the track, figure out, visual recognition, muscle memory and stuff. So I really need to use it more, and I'm really, really excited to have this in my own town. Like, we don't have racing things. We've never had go-karting. We barely have autocross, It's a huge deal to have a facility like this in my town, and I can't wait to bring all my friends. So I'm definitely going to do it a group night. Absolutely.
It's been a lot this weekend for us to absorb with all the potential things we have right here in town that honestly a few weeks ago I wouldn't have even contemplated. So it's going to happen. We're going to have some big get-togethers with everybody at the track at Asheville for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that they're going to help out with Ryan's new venture.
As far as mostly providing a facility that I can bring these women to explore sim racing, because like I said, it was so immersive. I felt like I was really doing it, and I think that gives people that are a little scared an opportunity to try things, and it's risk-free. It also is a way for moms to connect with their kids, because their kids are always gaming, and it's like, well, bring your kid out and race them on track, like really
show them what's up.
Make multiple connections, not just women in motorsport, but make your connection with your kiddo.
Yeah, maybe have fun doing it. That's the thing.
It's a big deal. I'm super, super excited, and thank you so much, Joel. I really appreciate your support. That you were just hands down, sincerely, passionately, very, very supportive, and I'm really looking forward to what we can do. Really, really looking forward to it.
And April really wants to check out your Skyline.
She is all about your listens.
Even though she wants the V6
she thinks
S550 Mustang, she was like,
the Skyline.
He's got what?
She loves that JDM stuff.
We'll have to figure that out.
It's cute. I think it's cute. I don't really know how else to put it, because she really loves all the JDM cars. She drools over them. She watches videos. She watches drifting. But when she gets behind the wheel of a car, she prefers that American muscle.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's so funny. My bad.
When you're watching, we watched
That's my fault.
Goodwood Festival of Speed all weekend.
We did.
If you missed it, it's probably because Johnny Valencia wasn't there with Michelin to tell you what was going on.
Because
did miss we're really
JV
spoiled
updates.
with the JV being over there for Goodwood.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know it was happening until it was on the damn YouTube channel.
I knew it was happening because Goodwood. But
we watched it all weekend. It was awesome. But it's really funny when all those JDM cars that do all the drifting roll up and they got Chevy LS motors in them so that they can do that drifting. So that was something April commented on. But
so we watched Goodwood all weekend.
it was good
until Sunday when we decided to tackle race car because on Friday all of our parts came in. Thank goodness. We were ghosted by a vendor for our GT500 calipers. Excuse me.
For a few days.
For
enough days to make a decision.
Yeah, so Kyle made the executive decision to just order another set, which is money out of pocket. You don't know what's going to happen, but we know that we need to get this car off these jack stands and back on the road.
No.
So Kyle
the
ordered...
stress wasn't worth leaving it up.
So Kyle ordered new GT500 rear brake calipers. I had planned on ordering a new set of rear pads from Carbotech that would fit them.
Here they are.
However, Kyle saved our butts again because he did tons of research and he was like, look, I keep finding really conflicting information. This brake pad company says they'll fit all these years. This brake pad company kind of splits it up and then they overlap. Like, it was just a lot of weird information.
It was weird.
So, luckily we got these calipers in on Friday, and Kyle, being the amazing machinist that he is, was able to use a set of high technical calipers. I don't know if
I used my calipers.
Do you know what? Some people don't know what calipers are. I didn't know before you really got into it. So this is a set of calipers.
So these are calipers. They're two 0.005 inches. These are accurate.
Yeah.
So there's nothing on a car until you get into the motor that has tolerancing tighter than that. Maybe the diff, but I doubt it.
So what he did is he started measuring all the areas that the brake pads will fit. You probably can't see this. He started measuring all the areas that the brake pads fit. You know, here, on the inside, on the outside, the depths in this area, and they kept coming up very close to my stock calipers on my GT.
Yeah.
The only area that is different is this area right here. And it's because the rotor is larger, and I guess this needs to be a little bit smaller so it can still fit within the wheel well.
Yeah, because the rotor runs this way, circular. So this is thinner so that the rotor clears. Because we have her rotors still mounted on the vehicle, and that's what's the comparison. These are powder coated, and there was only about 0.010 of a difference on there. And honestly, the brake pads bounce around in her stock caliper just as much as they bounce around in here.
Yep, and as you can see, we've already fit my old Carbotech brake pads from my GT calipers right into these new calipers. So they do fit, they don't jiggle, they're perfectly in there. That saved us $200 because a set of rear brake pads from Carbotech in the XP pad is $200.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for us little grassroots racer over here. So
and I don't know why
that's awesome. But I wish this was broader information because honestly, I don't think a lot of people switch their rear calipers to the GT500. You have to remove. We've removed axles. My differential is sitting wide open right now. Just because we got stopped.
She'd be apart.
But it is a little more intensive to swap out your calipers. So we started delving into that on Sunday. I got really far. I got the differential cover off, and I made a huge mess. I spilled
almost got it on her. It was close.
I don't know that. I was there, but I just was deflected really quickly. So my little ninja-like moves, I guess, got me out the way.
It was quick.
But I made a huge mess. I cut my thumb. But I was.
Dips are sharp.
Yeah. But I was feeling really, really good. I was having a super good time. Like, I know that sounds silly. Most people don't care about working on the car, but I loved it. We were getting really close to being finished. I had installed the new caliper relocating bracket on the passenger side. Got everything torqued down perfectly. Started working on the driver's side, and as I was starting to torque the bolts, they just kind of felt very weird. They would spin and kind of click, but then keep spinning, so they were becoming firm and then free spinning again. I was like, oh, that feels very weird. So I called Kyle in. He came over and he did one little check, and he's like, and he was like, look on the back and make sure that bolt is still spinning with the light, and we did, and he did it again. He's like, okay, it's still spinning. So we backed them out. He's like, these are stretched. And as soon as we backed them out, the one that just kept spinning, you can see these threads are super stretched. They're in the white box, but I kind of threw everything together. It was wild. So the bolt's normally like this tall, and on the bolt that got stretched, it was like that tall. I don't know if they're going to be able to see this. Do you have a stretched one? So I really don't know if you're going to be able to see that difference in this video.
We can do a measurement and tell you how much taller that other bolt is.
But just when I'm looking at it, maybe you can see the thickness difference. I don't really know.
Yeah, look at the threads. These threads right here are really big compared to these threads.
Yeah, anyway.
It was going to break.
That's scary.
That holds your brake caliper on.
It does, and already having felt what just a cracked rotor feels like on track, you don't want your whole caliper to come off. Like, that just is not a good idea. I think that would be a Code Brown moment. So
yes, for sure.
So we have been so that brought us to a screeching halt on Sunday. It was very disheartening, a little frustrating. I really thought we were going to have the car back together. I haven't even driven this car since I put my new shifter in. So I'm really, really eager to get this car out on the street and feel what it feels like. Anyway, we needed to order these new bolts. I got on FordParts.com, easily found the bolts, added them to my cart, started looking for the wing nut that goes on the back. They didn't have the wing nut available for purchase. This is what I say when I say wing nut. Because it's a nut with a little wing, and that might be wrong, but I feel like that's right.
They use those to make assembly faster, because that
Catches
little
on
wing
something.
hits the axle, so you can tighten it down. Those are 50 foot-pound torque screws, nuts, and honestly, that's not a ridiculous amount. And these are hardened components as well, which we found out today, because I do a lot of machining, but I don't know a lot about the grades of screws and whatnot.
Anyway, since we couldn't find replacement wing nuts, I have bolts on order from Ford. They said they weren't going to be able to get them for 3 to 5 days, and I don't know, I told them I need them way sooner, so they actually emergency ordered them and said they should be in by 4:30 tomorrow. We shall see. Again, that conflicts with the track at Asheville's set your fastest lap time that goes on between 5 and 6. So I don't know if I'm going to make that. I'm definitely going to have to go pick up those bolts at some point.
Yeah, and I might drop her off and go pick them up. We'll figure it out.
We will figure it out.
That's tomorrow.
I would really like to get back on those Sims. Like, really, really.
Yeah, she liked that a lot more than we thought.
Right. And, but luckily we visited Asheville Bolts and Nuts.
Okay, so follow us here. There's 2 little shops in town. There's Asheville Bolt and Nut and Asheville Bolt and Screw. So we went to Asheville Bolt and Nut. And they didn't have what we needed, but they said Asheville Bolt and Screw would, so we went over there. They did. We have not OEM componentry, but we do have componentry that will work.
Yeah, we did pick up bolts and nuts and a washer that will
with the same
hold
hardness.
it on.
It says it on the top. It's a It's a 10.9.
Yeah.
These will work, but these are not the exact Ford
No,
car.
because this is what we're trying to replicate. So it's a lot different. Our puppy just came in.
Puppy.
Everybody wants to be on camera. Hey, puppy. Hey, baby. Anyway, this is what we're trying to replicate, and this is what we purchased. But I do have these brand new bolts supposed to be coming to Four Seasons Ford in Hendersonville by 4:30 tomorrow, and I'm hoping to get those. And you know, we're not really sure if the wing nuts are one-time use or not, but we have enough room for where these bolts go in. Let me see if I can show you. So pretend this is a brand new one. I do have enough room to use a washer and a bolt behind of where these will actually go in. I can put a wrench on this. With the wing nut, you don't need a wrench because it gets caught on something and stays there. With the bolt, you'll actually have to put a wrench on it so you can keep spinning and it won't just free spin as well. So we do have something that can secure these if we can't use this, but I do want to use Ford's OE bolts.
Yeah, and
so
we'll
that's
mark
why
those.
we haven't put them on today.
We'll mark those with white out when we put them on to make sure they don't move. I don't think that anything dangerous is going to happen during the hill climb.
It isn't,
but the next
luckily.
track day,
That's the
we'll
one.
watch it.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely the one I'm more worried about.
the only thing that would happen would be that a brake caliper would rotate with the car a little bit. All 4 bolts would have to fail. It's a really redundant
It is
system.
4 bolts on each hub.
I'm not real worried about it. I think that a spirited drive and back to the house and we check the markings will be enough to make us feel confident. But it's kind of odd because it's 06. I mean, it's not crazy old.
Well, again, like we've discovered, the bolts are going to be used from 05 to 2014 Mustangs. And when I was talking to Ford, they were like, oh, well, that wing nut is obsolete. And I said, well, what do you replace it with? And they didn't have an answer.
Yeah, I guess they don't pay these off.
So I was like, okay, I guess that's not a normal thing.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's why a lot of salvage cars and these wing bolts are going to get reused a lot. So,
yeah, and that was another thing.
That bolt should not have stripped.
No, when we took her differential out and it was nice and clean. So the last time we took the diff out was just to service it. We didn't take the diff out. We took the cover off.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really notice it, but there's a lot of paint on her rear diff.
Yeah.
So it's quite possible to replace the diff. You have to pull the axles. So those bolts have probably been used once before. It's possible that the whole caliper system was shifting when she's hitting the brakes now, and that there's a lot to be said about going through a vehicle 100%, and it's hard, you know, because with Hank, we got him new and we've done everything, and with this 07, 06, we're looking at everything.
Look at this though.
As how many more things do we need to check that somebody else might not have done properly or reused a bolt they shouldn't have? There's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't even get to put that on.
Working through an older car creates its challenges, and that's kind of another reason we want a newer car for our women in automotive.
Yeah, we don't want it to break while we're there.
I think we can release the name. Do you want to release the name of our women project? I think
so
we can.
There's a group on
We're going to
Facebook
start a Facebook group first.
that has already been made.
Yes, but it's not public. I haven't done anything. I've just created it. There's no pictures. There's no mantra. There's no.
I think somebody's in our driver.
Okay, handle it, honey. I'm really excited to tell you this, and since you guys are watching, you get to get that first peek. It's going to be called Project Overdrive, and Overdrive is going to be spelled OVADRIVE. So Overdrive, and a little clue in on the Overdrive. ova is the plural of ovum, which is part of the reproductive cells of a woman. So yeah, it's kind of corny, but I think it's really clever. I don't think a lot of people are going to ask too many questions about that, but it is a little slight nod to the ladies.
It is.
And it's overdrive, so everybody's going to think overdrive, and I think it's clever. I think it's kind of smart.
Well, we want people to go,
what's that?
what is that? And click the link,
Yeah.
or Google it up or whatever. So that's it. It's not, nobody's used it. That's totally
That's pretty new.
unique and new, and
So
and we don't know where it's going to go. Is it just going to be cars? Is it going to open doors for other things that women haven't done before?
why y'all like it?
We don't know. I don't know.
And the thing is as much as I want to provide opportunities for women, you cannot ignore the fact that there are going to be men that want to support and want to be involved. Like it's not like the women's only club and men aren't allowed. Like we're providing opportunities for women, and we want everybody to support that. We want everybody to be involved because it's that time, you guys. It's time for everybody to help each other out. So
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited. We're going to create the Facebook group. We're going to start to work on some events. I want to have like an expo kind of car show. I want to hold events at the track at Asheville. We're really going to make this happen. We're going to give it our best.
And I think actually putting someone in a vehicle this year is too soon.
Yeah.
But we're going to begin the rest of it, because the rest of it's no risk, and we need to see who's vested and who really wants to do it, because as much as we want people to,
I'm very optimistic,
to-
so I just feel like everybody that would want to do it is just a good person and really is like, man, I've always wanted to try this and never been able to try this. But realistically, you're going to have people that are going to take advantage of you, and having a little bit of a vetting process where they need to come out and attend some basic maintenance, attend some sim racing things, show that they're really invested before just handing over the keys to a car. So
of course,
I think it's
that's 1,000% the logical thing.
It has taken us some time to kind of realize that, but because I'm an eternal optimist and I would never imagine
you want to
taking
think
advantage
everybody's
of somebody.
doing a good thing.
So, but it happens, and even in the car community, and I just want to provide opportunities, but I don't want to be taken advantage of. So, because I don't have a lot to give, and what I'm giving is a lot. So I'm just so stoked. I can't wait. I get like emotional about it. So But this is my cooling differential cover. I don't think we said that. Did you like that subject change? That's how I do that when I'm uncomfortable.
And we were talking about it last night about the name. We've been chewing on it for a bit.
It is going to be...
It's good, and I don't want this. We could start this with autocross or track day stuff or whatever, and not... I don't know where it's going to stop, we shoot competitively. If somebody got on board that was a pilot and wanted to talk about flying planes for a woman, or a woman being in a man's world in
technology,
a job,
machining.
Technology or whatever, I'm all for it.
Yes,
there's
exactly
so many avenues,
Rebecca.
so that's why we wanted the name to be kind of wide open. We don't want it to be like Women in Autocross in West North Carolina, because it bottlenecks it down, and I don't want it to be that. I want it to be, and Ryan wants it to be, if a lady wants to do something, she should be able to do it, and that's what we're going for, and we're going to start with the car stuff.
Yep.
But if it goes somewhere else, we'll find somebody that can help that young lady or old lady out with doing whatever. Because,
absolutely.
Everybody wants a high school kid to get involved, but honestly, if their parents aren't bought into it, then it doesn't matter. And it might be a woman that's been a housewife for 20 years and
Not 20 years,
finally understands that she can
can.
go do
that she
something,
can.
and she might not even know what the something is, and we can help figure that out. I don't know what it'll be, you know. And honestly, in a man's world of typically men are the breadwinners, and they make the money, and they get to decide what they're going to do with the money, and they spend it on whatever. And honestly, most men don't know what the hell they want to do either. But they have a lot more means to figure that out than a woman with children, or a woman that is in a man's shadow. And that's what we're trying to fix. And I don't know what the answer is right now, but honestly, we've polished over this a lot on what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And right now, it's just a matter of let's get it started, and we'll figure it out. Yep. And that's what we're doing.
We've got some resources.
Yep. So
we've got passion.
We have some good roots to start with, and we're going to start watering this thing and see what it grows into.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be good regardless of what it is.
I'm hoping for the best, and if I can change one person's life, I'm going to feel pretty good about that. So.
Well, you already have, because
I know
April's got the bug.
I'm really
And
glad
honestly,
that I'm able to provide that to my own daughter. That's fantastic, and she's not going to get left in the dirt. Like,
not
obviously, we're trying to give her a car that she can really grow with.
Yeah.
And if this were to take off and we needed multiple vehicles, or we got a dealership behind us that could help us with vehicles, you know, you can start to see options to open, but we need to get started.
Yeah.
It needs to happen now, and we've got great people.
By this time next year, April will be instructing.
I hope so.
Honestly, I mean,
hope so.
she's
at
real
least
good.
at autocross, yes.
She's real good, and we'll send her on her way just like we would send anybody else. And
absolutely,
it's just a hard thing, because we want everybody to be excited, but we want to start everybody out on the right pace. And everybody in my house has me for what about this and what about that on mechanical.
We have a pretty great mentor, and I have to admit,
there's a lot of ladies that don't. Yep. And they need to know, you know, you don't want to go to autocross with a tire at 15 psi and have
or 50
an issue. Yeah, or 50. So there's a lot that everybody needs to learn, and it's just a matter of teaching that and keeping the engagement up and making sure that they're excited about it the whole way, because just like everything else in life, 95% of any successful thing is in the preparation of it. It's in the prep work, and
a lot of it's just getting started. Also,
we don't want to go online and be like, "Hey, you want to come drive a race car?" and everybody and their mom show up, and it's not a good experience. So there's a lot to be said about getting it done the right way, and we talk about it a lot.
But we're really planning. Like, that's how committed we are to it. We really feel it's going to take a lot of planning to do this right, and we want to do it right. So. And
we can't do it by ourselves.
No.
Honestly,
we're trying.
We can pick up a car, and we can go to the autocross, and we can. But honestly, Highland Sports Car Club is going to help us. The track at Asheville is going to help us.
Maybe some other people.
Some dealerships. I don't know what it'll be, but it's going to be big, regardless of who's on board or who's not, because we're at the center of it, and that's the only way we'll have it. So it's going to be good, and
I'm really
we're going to roll with the punches on it and figure it out.
As much as I love my racing and I have big dreams for me, I think April's really gotten the racing bug, so her dreams can be even bigger. Just providing opportunity to any lady to find a passion with automotive, or find their passion, period. But
whatever.
I can only really help right now with automotive. So just being able to to do that for some ladies, it would feel really good, because I've been in dark places and the cars pulled me out, and obviously my family too, but you know, finding a passion really gives life a meaning. So I hope to provide that with other people. And I think on that note, we're gonna say goodbye to you guys.
Yep, I think that's enough for this evening. New stuff is happening every day, and it's happening so much faster than we thought it would.
That's why we're giving you these weekly
with
updates,
our local
because
groups.
I feel like Facebook posts would just be nonstop, and it would be a lot.
Had no idea that it was gonna be. When we decided we were gonna do these videos every Monday, what are we gonna talk about next week?
We
but
do a lot
honestly,
every week.
This is what happens with us.
Every week.
We're kind of a mess, and there's a lot of shit going on all the time.
Kind of a mess.
We could probably do 2 of these a week.
Maybe,
but
they would be shorter. You would probably like that.
Yeah, it might be a little shorter. I don't know what's going to happen. We should probably go live more often. We're real busy here. I know a lot of people think they're busy, but we're real busy here. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, we're still raising a 6-year-old and a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Even though we talk about her as she's a grown-ass woman, she's still very 17.
Yeah.
Still has very 17-year-old thoughts and compulsiveness. She's, you know, we still have to guide her pretty hard. We also have the paw, which we love very much, which is Kyle's dad. He is technically retired, but will not stop working.
No.
So he has his own set of things that we have to work through and love about him. So we are always busy, and I love it. I would not change it. I would not change it my life at all. So
no, well, we'll get there, and hopefully, for sure by this time next year, we will have some young, and everybody's always wanting the young ladies, but we want the old ladies too. We want the moms, and we want, you know, the people who think that their life is comprised of laundry and dinners and cleaning a house, to widen their horizons to, I can go race a car on Tuesday night in Asheville, or on a Saturday and a Sunday in Franklin, North Carolina, and sim race at the track at Asheville, and maybe one day drive something at Virginia International Raceway, Road Atlanta, CMP, AMP. We got a lot of tracks within a few hours of us. And broaden it out. You know, it can go nationwide, worldwide. I don't know, but
we just gotta get started in our own area.
People so much want to buy into the fact that their life is what it is and it can never be anymore, and that is not the mentality as Americans we should have. There's countries that are stuck there, but it's not ours.
It's not America.
And the American dream can be a lot more than filling your bank account full of money. It can be living your dreams out, and maybe not living your dreams out, but experiencing something. And if you want to experience high performance driving, we can help with that.
Hopefully.
So that's what we're trying to do.
Yep.
And that goes for just as many of our not known young and older women as it does for our closest friends that don't do it yet. So I don't want anybody to think that it's off the table for them to come and get trained.
It's an opportunity for everybody.
We want everybody to be able to do it.
All the ladies, I'm sorry, and I know it sounds silly, but it's going to be a very feminine based project overdrive. So cheers.
Cheers to
you
that.
just took a sip. I was
Cheers
waiting
to that.
cheers
I'll take
you.
another one.
Thank you so much for watching. We're going to do this every week. We got a lot
see you
going
next
on.
Monday.
Hopefully we can get this a little bit shorter, but thank you so much for hanging out with us all this time. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
I don't think I'll ever be shorter. But
we're long-winded.
if anybody needs any clarification on anything or wants to talk to us about anything we've talked about now, feel free to send us private messages and we will try to answer everything. We love y'all. She's ready to hit the button.
Yeah.
So,
Bye.
see you guys.